Hi, seventh graders. We are going to be taking some notes over adding and subtracting rational numbers. So as we are adding and subtracting these rational numbers, we are going to be using those same kind of rules that we did for adding and subtracting integers, okay? And if you struggled with integers, hopefully we get some practice and kind of clarify how to do that as well. So first of all, if you are adding integers, okay, if you have same signs, think sum. So same signs, think sum. So you are going to be adding their absolute values and then keeping the common sign, okay? So an example of this might be something like -2 plus -6. I'm adding two negatives together so they have same signs. So I'm going to add their absolute values. 2 plus 6 gives me 8, and keep that common sign. When I have different signs, then I'm going to be looking for the difference. So here I would be subtracting the absolute values and keep the sign of the number with the higher absolute value. So an example here could be something like -2 plus 10. All right, well, I have a negative plus a positive, so I have different signs. So what I really end up doing is subtracting 10 minus 2 to get 8. The 10 has the higher absolute value and it's positive, so my answer is positive. For subtraction problems, we're really going to kind of focus on how subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. So how you do that is you keep the first number, change the subtraction to addition, and then take the opposite of the second number. So a quick little example with integers might be something like 3 minus -4. Keep the first number, rewrite the subtraction as addition, take the opposite of -4 to get +4, and then now our problem is 3 plus 4 is 7. So when we're adding fractions in our positive and negative fractions and mixed numbers, first thing you want to be thinking about is finding that common denominator if necessary or if needed. Then take a look at your signs and see if you can determine if your answer is going to be positive or negative. So once you have that common denominator, you should be able to tell which number has the higher absolute value, okay? So 11/12 plus -7/12. Here we already have the common denominator, all right? And then I'm gonna just follow my rules for adding my integers. So when I look at my signs, my 11/12 has the higher absolute value, so then that tells me my answer will be positive. And then because I have a positive and a negative different signs, I'm gonna find the difference here. So 11/12 minus 7/12 gives me 4/12, which then I could also simplify to 1/3. So positive 1/3. On number 2, we have -1 1/5 plus -3/5. Again, that common denominator is already there for us. And so I have a negative plus a negative. That tells me my answer is going to be negative. And so I'm going to end up getting more negative here. So this will be -1 4/5. Number 3, this is a good example where we're going to do some kind of regrouping or some different thinking for this one. So 4 plus -1 3/8. Notice the 4 is a whole number, so I don't really have a I don't have a denominator there. Some students make mixed numbers and improper fractions. That's one way you can do this. I almost think it's easier to not think of it that way. So here I have a positive and a negative, so I know that I'm going to be finding the difference of these. And so really what we're doing is we're taking 4 minus 1 and 3/8, okay? And so this 4 right now is like 4 and 0/8. So I can't take 3/8 from 0/8. So what I can do is I can do some regrouping. Now when we regroup with fractions or mixed numbers, I'm going to take that 1 whole from the 4, but now I need to transfer that into fraction form. All right, my denominator is 8. So you're going to ask yourselves how many 8s make up 1 whole, which is 8. So I'm going to add that to my numerator. So now my new problem is 3 and 8/8, which is also equivalent to 4, minus 1 and 3/8. 8/8 minus 3/8 gives me 5/8. 3 minus 1 is 2, and it's positive because our positive number has a greater absolute value. And then on number 4, we have different denominators. So our first step is going to be find that common denominator, which here could be 40. 8 times 5 gives me 40, so we're going to multiply 3 times 5. So negative 3/8 becomes negative 15/40. 5 times 8 gives me 40, so 4 times 8 is 32, so this is negative 32, so negative 15/40 plus negative 32/40 is going to be negative 47/40. And then now I can rewrite that as negative 1 and 7/40. So that's a little bit for adding those positive and negative fractions and mixed numbers.